Four-time F1 world champion Sebastian Vettel says that his 2021 switch to Aston Martin has come at the right time, with the squad's performance and budget on target to capitalize on the sport's new era. Vettel's move, the paddock's worst-kept secret, was confirmed last week with the German's announcement following Sergio Perez's, in which the Mexican confirmed he wouldn't be with the squad in 2021. And while Vettel admitted he had thought about retirement, the chance at what he called a new adventure with a truly legendary car company was more than enough to keep him in the sport. Though it's alleged he will take a pay cut, with his reported $15 million annual salary, exactly half what he's on at Ferrari this year. It remains to be seen, however, how he will fare staying in the midfield, given his frustration this year with Ferrari and lofty future targets. I still have so much love for Formula One, and my only motivation is to race at the front of the grid, he said. Sergio Perez may have been kept in the dark about his Racing Point fate, stating that nobody told me anything before the call came from co-owner Lawrence Stroll, but the 30-year-old said he knew what was going on with discussions in the background about contracts. The Mexican had originally signed on until the end of 2022, but was told last week that the squad had exercised an exit clause, with Perez more disappointed about the lack of openness. Probably a bit more clarity would have helped regarding my future as well, because then I would have looked for a plan B, he said. There are now 9 unconfirmed seats for 2021, but Perez will be aiming for Haas, with Gene Haas in Italy last week to lock down their plan, or potentially even a berth at Alfa Romeo. 12 drivers were warned over Mugello's safety car restart that led to red flag carnage, with inconsistent brake and throttle application creating the extreme concertina effect that eliminated 4 drivers from the race. Mercedes' Valtteri Bottas was not blamed at all, given his right to back up the pack as the leader, but the distance to the control line meant those at the back misjudged their return to racing speeds. Mick Schumacher is well aware of the rumors linking him to a potential F1 drive at Alfa Romeo next year, but says he's fully focused on his title campaign in Feeder Series F2. The German leads the standings, 8 points clear of his fellow Ferrari Driver Academy member Callum Ilott after Mugello, where he scored more points with 5th and 4th respectively.
I'm very happy. The rumors are out there, because obviously that shows that I'm doing something right. But nevertheless, my focus is really on F2.
Schumacher joined in the Scuderia celebrations in Mugello, where he got behind the wheel of his father's championship-winning Ferrari F2004, as he did at Hockenheim last year, bringing together the golden era team that tested so extensively with Michael in Mugello as Ferrari celebrated its 1000th Grand Prix.
Obviously, it is very close. Pretty much all of my dad's mechanics from that era or are on the car at the moment, and working with it. And I think also for them it is kind of nostalgia to get me into it, and basically that car gets to drive two generations who have the name Schumacher.
Renault Sport Academy member Oscar Piastri has marked himself out as a potential future F1 prospect, with the 19-year-old securing the F3 title in his maiden season with Prema at the final round in Mugello. Piastri, the second man to lift the FIA F3 championship and the first Australian, was 7th in Sunday's thrilling sprint race to finish 3 points ahead of rival Théo Pourchaire. The Melburnian, who started in cars with UAE F4 before moving to British F4, where he was runner-up with 6 wins in 2017, has now won 2 titles back-to-back with the Formula Renault Euro Cup and F3. And even before he lifted the crown, had his sights set on F2, though he joked sarcastically about not knowing where he will likely end up in 2021, with Prema running in both series.
I think F2 for next year is definitely the aim, and yeah, I'd like to think that I can get a good F2 seat somewhere. No idea where that'll be. Yeah, that's about it.
Mercedes' principal partner INEOS is said to be on the cusp of purchasing a stake in the squad, though it is understood that the alleged £700 million deal would stop short at a takeover. The news comes as team boss Toto Wolff's involvement with the team is in question beyond the end of the season, with the Austrian admitting the run to 6 straight title doubles has taken a lot out of him. It is just that 8 years in this team as a team principal are taking its toll, and this is something that I'm reflecting on, he said. In other news, Wolff backed F1's new $200 million entry fee for new teams, calling it a flaw for team valuation. Imola is hoping to see 13,000 fans when F1 returns to the classic track on November 1 for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, with the open-door plan provisionally agreed by local authorities. Mugello last weekend was the first race to host fans on the 2020 calendar, though spectators were limited to just 2,880 for each of the 3 days, to aid social distancing given the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. But Imola is planning to go next level, with its target 13,000 total, split into blocks of 1,000 with allocated parking, while up to 1,300 VIP guests will be wined and dined in the Formula One Paddock Club. The challenge, though, will not just be in selling tickets for a 2-day event with no support categories, though Formula Renault Eurocup is an option, but also making a profit with the track sharing ticket sales with F1. Russia ahead is targeting a crowd of 30,000, while Germany's Nürburgring is yet to reveal plans. Portugal is expecting 45,000, while Turkey could have up to 100,000. Renault's Cyril Abiteboul says the French marque will only consider future power unit partnerships because a customer, like its former matchup with Red Bull Racing, brings you nothing. Renault will only power its own Alpine team next year, with McLaren off to reunite with Mercedes. But Abiteboul says that any new collaboration has to be more than just financial. We know that the transaction is regulated anyway, so it's mainly from a sporting and technical perspective that we would look at the opportunity, he said. Abiteboul also poured cold water on another Red Bull tie-in, with Honda's involvement beyond 2021 yet to be confirmed, stating it didn't work last time and that the team rejected integration. Mercedes has admitted it had just 10 seconds to react to a closed pit lane message at Monza, with the oversight ultimately costing 6-time F1 world champion Lewis Hamilton a surefire win. The mistake was made with the safety car out, and both Hamilton and the team preparing for the stop, his 14-second lead ensuring he got to the pit entry before the message was seen.
It didn't take us long to spot it. We were able to still keep Valtteri out. And for reference, we can hear from other team radio that it took them about 10 seconds to notice it as well. And that 10-second was the crucial period where, because Lewis was so far in the lead of the race, he was just able to come in.
The team also assumed Kevin Magnussen's stricken Haas didn't need to be moved, but has since introduced systems and software to stop future oversights. It was the first closed pit lane since Brazil 2016.
Happened twice there, but it was clear that the pit lane entry would be closed then. There was a crash and almost a huge amount of debris, and you wouldn't want to drive into the pit lane at that stage. And this was different. It didn't really prompt us to necessarily look at the screen and look for a single line that was hidden amongst other information, and we missed it.
Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.